I used to say in my 20s, if you drink alone, you're an alcoholic. And then cut to, I'm just this like twisting that thing right at 4:59. I was a loner mom. I mean, of course you feel like you have this little buddy, but I was a writer. My husband worked crazy New York hours. I was really lonely because you're just with this kid all the time and you're deprived of sort of adult conversation and stimulation and humor. I had a lot of nights just sort of sitting there when she was asleep, and that's when I started drinking wine. Everything that I knew in terms of confidence was out the window because suddenly you're so vulnerable. You have this baby and there's this sort of group of moms that you meet who sign up together in the class. They all sort of showed up with this cadre of sycophants, just like middle school. They had the mean people and then their followers, and they're all decked out in designer clothes. I was there like Urban Outfitters threw up on me. They were all blonde Amazonian tits on sticks. I just felt like I was other right away. Oh, I think there's a code brown, and they would summon the nanny who would then change the kid. Like, they did not wipe one ass of their 4 children. They're just trophies. We portray that on the show, and they'll say, I just love the show. It's a hoot. A bunch of years ago on the Upper East Side, there was this sort of explosion at one of my schools where a lot of women were saying their husbands took an interest in wine, and they were doing these wine tastings, and a bunch of guys would go drink wine, and they were curating their home cellars or wine racks with these personal wine sommeliers. Turns out they were Latvian whores, and they had a prostitution circle, and they were posing as wine sommeliers and had a legitimate business, where they were selling wine, but really they were tasting your schwanz. These guys got busted like one by one, and the wives started figuring it out. And I sort of blurted this out like, you guys, there's this wine sommelier circle that's Latvian prostitutes. And this woman I know was like, my husband's really into wine and has a wine curator now. And she got a private investigator, and he was fucking one of them in her son's race car bed. He had the courtesy of not doing it in the marital 4-poster, but he was stuffing her in their son's race car bed. Truth. There was one woman who said to me, well, my son's APGAR scores were all 9s and 10s, and they never give that. Wait, isn't APGAR like that your heart's beating? Like your lungs are working? It's not even about intelligence. It was just like, he's off the charts already. I was like, so it begins with all this bullshit.